your take? What's been the main focus so far here?
Well, really, it seems like this has been a mission from the Malaysian Prime Minister to reach out to Chinese investors, the Chinese business community, and say, look, despite that criticism that you pointed to, and despite our reservations, continued reservations about the Belt and Road Initiative and some of the investments, particularly around infrastructure in Malaysia that's been backed by China, that Malaysia remains open for business. And we heard that yesterday when he took to the stage with Jack Ma, of course, probably the best-known Chinese entrepreneur, the founder of Alibaba, and took questions about the business environment in Malaysia. This has been part of the mission. He arrived originally on Friday evening, visited Alibaba's headquarters in Hangzhou, visited the headquarters of Geely, the automaker here, where they signed a deal around Proton, the Malaysian car maker, and then flew on to Beijing. And now, of course, he's meeting with Premier Li Keqiang and is expected to meet with President Xi Jinping this evening. But really, that's been the main message is, yes, we do have these reservations about these major projects, particularly the review that's ongoing around a $20 billion rail line that has been backed and supported by China in Malaysia. Those reviews will continue, but equally, there are sectors in Malaysia where we welcome Chinese investment, so long as it's sustainable and as long as it includes the employment of Malaysians and boosts Malaysian productivity. That's been the message from the Malaysian Prime Minister.
Tom, you ran through a couple of those deals, and so did David. You know, there was even one about durian quarantine. So tell us a little bit more about some of the flesh of these details and some of the significant plans that have been made today.
Yes, the famously pungent fruit getting a top line on this as these memorandums of understanding are signed at the Great Hall of the People. Yes, that was one of them. So was the currency swaps and deals around palm oil and rubber as well. One more notable deal was that deal around Geely and Proton, and I'll just give a few more details on that. So Proton, or Geely, in fact, owns 49.9% stake in Proton, which is, of course, the country's, Malaysia's name brand. And there's a push there to get Proton to adopt some of Geely's technology to expand the market share there and then potentially to push into China with a joint venture. So that's a key takeaway, and we'll look for additional details around that deal. It's going to be interesting to see if the Malaysian Prime Minister takes any questions along more sensitive issues, for example, the UN's report around the incarceration of what they say are hundreds of thousands of Muslim Uyghurs in the region of Xinjiang. That may be a question that's put to the Malaysian Prime Minister given his leadership of a major Muslim nation there. But certainly trade is the top of the agenda. $92 billion worth of trade between these two countries, and the Malaysian Prime Minister trying to build on that on this visit. He leaves and departs Beijing Tuesday.